Hi everyone and welcome to our new office. I am so excited. We've moved in about 2 months ago, so we've had a chance to settle in and I can't wait to show you around. Come on in. So before we head in, I just want to give a moment for the front facade of the entrance. We've got the Hector finch light above the door that I showed you in one of the earlier tours, and I'm really happy with how the front door turned out as well. For the ironmongery, we went with Banham. So we've got a new Banham lock in this gorgeous bronze colour, which I really like. It matches all the interior metal finishes. And then for the paint colour, we went with Farrow & Ball. This colour is Hardwick White number 5. Before I show you around the office, I just want to say a quick thank you to Goelia, who are sponsoring today's video. They've sent me some gorgeous pieces from their latest collection, including the outfit that I'm wearing right now. I love these pieces. I think they're so versatile and perfect for my work. The top is ribbed and I really love the neck detail. It just adds that perfect amount of detail. It looks really pretty and I feel like it's quite flattering and also really comfortable to wear. These trousers are probably my favourite piece from everything that they sent me. Again, really flattering. I love the wide leg. But the fact that they're quite slim on the waist, I feel like they make your legs look longer. My son said to me this morning, "Why do you look so tall?" So that's always a good thing in my book because I'm quite short. But they're really versatile, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to pair with them with next, but I feel like you could create so many different looks with these. For today's outfit, I've just mixed it up, slightly changing the top. So I've got the same black wide leg trousers, but the top, I love this. Again, it's ribbed, but it's long sleeve, and it has this gorgeous pearl detail around the sleeves and the neckline. And then over my shoulder, I've put this really chic cardigan. I feel like every season they come out with a really good striped cardigan, and they've always got a gorgeous statement button on it. And I really love to just throw that cardigan over my shoulders. And even though it's August, it's raining outside and it's quite chilly, so I feel like this is a good transitional outfit, lots of layers, so no matter what the weather does, you're covered. For today's outfit, I'm sticking with a neutral palette again, but I've mixed it up and I've just paired this beautiful black shirt, which is semi-sheer on the arms, but it's got a double layer of fabric on the body, so it's not transparent where you wouldn't want it to be. I've paired that with some white trousers for my wardrobe and a tan Celine belt. And what I love about this is it's just quite, I don't know, it's quite dressy, but still really comfortable and airy, so it feels like you could wear it in winter, layer it up, but it's nice and cool for the summer months as well. And then I've just combined that with some black suede pumps as well. For today's outfit, I've chosen this beautiful silk shirt from Goelia. And what I love about this one is it's got this gorgeous brown pattern on it, which if you're a brunette like me, I think works quite well with our colouring. And again, it's just really comfortable, very lightweight, so good for summer, but the colour palette works quite nicely for autumn too. And then I've combined that with some ivory coloured trousers. For Friday's outfit, I've gone all out and I'm wearing a beautiful silk dress from Goelia. I love this green colour. I think it's really flattering and again, just really comfortable. I've cinched it in with the belt that it comes with. It's just nice and light and airy, perfect for working, but then also good for going out for drinks. I'll share all the links to the outfits that I'm wearing in the description box below, and if you do want to order anything, make sure you use the discount code, which I've also shared below, which is 20SP. If you're spending over $169, that will get you $20 off, and if you're spending below that threshold, use 10SP and that will get you $10 off, so it's a great time to buy. And thank you so much to Goelia for sponsoring today's video tour. So now that we're inside, let's have a proper look at all of the interiors. There's so many details here that I really, really love. Starting off with the balustrade, this is a design that we created with SWD Bespoke, and I'm really, really pleased with how it turned out. We're launching it actually this week as a screen design, but where we didn't have room for a screen in this office, I knew that I wanted to incorporate it somewhere, so it works really well as a stair balustrade as well. I really love this little hammered finish on the beads. But I'm going to take you through the hallway down to the main office, and we're going to come back and have a look at the other rooms that we're missing along the way. So I don't know if you guys remember that custom console that I was looking at the dimensions of in our last episode. Remember we reduced the dimensions, I think it was at 35 centimetres or 30 centimetres, and I think we reduced it down to 25.
Hi Sophie.
Hi Brat. I'm just looking at the Decorative console in the office, and I know there was some conversations about whether we needed to brace it to the wall, but I feel like 30 centimetres feels quite deep. Let's go 260 by 140.
Yeah, that's no problem.
It just needs to be wide enough for a couple of photo frames, a candle, and a small
it,
flower arrangement. And I'm really happy with how it's turned out. You can see it's perfect for putting a photo frame on. You can still fit a diffuser, candle, a little faux orchid, and you've still got a really good amount of space walking through. Obviously this is a very heavy traffic area, so we wanted to make sure it didn't feel too enclosed. So I think that worked out perfectly. It just gives you a little bit of room for dressing. Now behind you, I also want to point out some of the less glamorous things, because obviously this is a working office, so it needs all the type of health and safety things. So this is actually where we ended up putting our photocopier, and there's never a perfect place to put a photocopier. They are so ugly. I would love to do a collab. You know, if someone has a photocopier company out there and they're open to having a designer make it more beautiful, I know exactly what you need to do. For a start, let's not have it all grey with blue. Let's think about some nice metallic finishes, but we'll come on to that. Tucked next to it, you can see we've got the fire extinguishers. Again, we had to make sure that all the fire regulations were complied with, all the health and safety. So for these, we went for a copper finish. Sadly, they don't come in bronze. We tried very hard to find them, but this was the best for Bad Bunch. So if you're looking for aesthetic fire extinguishers, I think the copper ones look quite nice. Now, next update, again, in this hallway, we had a little bit of drama with the perlata finish. If you didn't watch that episode, it was coming out quite dark grey, and I really wanted this space to feel light and bright and airy. You can see the wall colour. This looks quite dark, and I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit concerned. This is the perlata finish, but I'm going to trust the process. This is what I always tell my clients. But yeah, it needs to get lighter, because right now it feels quite grey, and I think I'd rather have it plain white paint, and it did cost a lot of money. So what happened was, there was an issue with the paint, and Marmo Stucco, the installer, was so good. They had completed everything with a grey finish, and I still wasn't happy. It wasn't the same colour as the sample, so they completely redid it. They found out from the manufacturer that there was an issue, and now you can see it's this beautiful cream, lovely light colour. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. We colour matched it to the skirting, so we always intended for it to be this lovely cream colour, and now it just feels really light and earthy and warm and everything that I wanted it to be. So really happy with that. And then as we walk down the corridor, we've got the doors, which I think were there in our last video. This is the door collection that we've got with SWD Bespoke. This is the London design, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It also tones perfectly with the floor. These are the Jacob pine tiles that we got from Mandarin Stone, and they've just been amazing. They are bomb-proof. We've had dogs over them, builders over them, and they are still perfect. So really happy with that. I'm going to walk you past the kitchen. We'll come back to this in a minute, but I wanted to take you straight into the office, where this is really the brains of the office, where everything gets organised and designed. Well, not designed so much, but all the admin side, which is a huge part of what we do, all happens in here. So you can see we've got the open plan office area. Half the team are working today because we still do a hybrid working system. But I'm so happy with how it turned out. It's such a lovely light space, really calm to work. You can hear everyone clicking away. They do normally have music, but we had to turn it off for the YouTube video. But just so many nice details, you know, the suede, you can see how nicely that tones all the wood. We've got all of our desk mats in. This is Sarah's desk. She's got a little box from our Addison Ross collection with all her junk in. John Cullen designed all of the lighting, and you can see it just gives this really warm, lovely effect. Even during the day, you can still notice the lighting. So we've got lots of layered lighting from the desk lights, obviously the spotlights as well, which have all been positioned perfectly to help with task lighting and also highlight the beautiful features in here.
Reiko supplied all of the light switches and the lighting control modules.
We carried that same marmo stucco perlata finish through into all the walls and even up onto the ceiling, which was quite a extravagance, but I think it was worth it. And the reason why we did it was because there's quite a few awkward angles in the ceiling. You can see there's a step in the ceiling, it also slopes down. And if we'd gone for the perlata just on the walls but not on the ceiling, that would have become really noticeable, whereas being all the same colour, it kind of disappears away. So if we walk down here past some of the team working on their drawings, I'll show you into my office. Now, one of the changes that we did was we installed these still doors. We went for a bronze colour, and to be honest, everything that happened in this office I'm so happy with, but these were a little bit disappointing because they were meant to offer acoustic properties. The reason why I wanted doors here was if I'm filming something in my office or doing a Zoom call, I could shut these doors and I wouldn't be able to hear what's going on in the main office, but they don't. I can hear everything and everyone can hear me, so it was a bit of a waste of money. And we still have a lot of snagging issues months later, so it hasn't been the best experience, but on all of our new suppliers, we always test them out on ourselves, whether it's my home or the office or just a small project so that I don't unleash them straight onto a client. And I'm really glad that I had a chance to road test this supplier here first, because I wouldn't recommend them for any of my clients going forward. I don't like to say negative things about people, but it's important to be honest. So we'll skip past these, I won't share too much else, and get on to more exciting things. This is my office and I couldn't be happier with it. I think last time I was in here, I was showing you the desk space and how I had a double desk, and I was thinking about hiring a PA and I was going to have my computer here, but I kind of wanted to have a bit of spare desk for designing. And you can see right here, I've got a mood board that I'm currently working on. And this is exactly why I really wanted to have a big desk. I've ended up putting my computer here because it's tucked away out the window and I quite like having all the natural light coming in. But it's worked out really well that if I'm sitting here doing some work, sometimes I do Zoom calls with clients here, and if Anthony or someone else from the team's joining me, they can sit on this chair, or if someone wants an impromptu meeting with me, they can just come and sit down here. So it's worked out really, really well, and I'm really happy with that. I did design this backboard to be a pin board, a bit like my old office, how I always had like samples of fabrics that we were working on from our new collection with Andrew Martin, or just things that are inspiring me. But I can't bring myself to put a pin into this. It just looks too sleek and perfect. So I've decided I'm just going to leave it as a plain background. It looks really sleek. And then up here, I've dressed it with a few accessories. We've got one of our photo frames from our Paterson Ross collection, a nice little basket, some faux flowers. This still needs a bit more dressing, but it's just been a bit busy. And then behind me, I want to give this piece of art a little bit of attention. This is a piece of art that we had hanging in our old office by an artist called Payne's Gray. I'll put the link in the description box. I really, really love his art. It's all about texture, and each piece is individually made and fired and then assembled afterwards. And it's lit beautifully. You can see John Cullen done such a good job of positioning the downlight, so it just highlights all of that texture. And what's nice is that I get to appreciate it while I'm working here, but when you first walk into the office, you can see it all the way from the entrance, so everyone gets to appreciate this as well as me. One of my favourite things in this office are also these doors. This was a late addition. We were just going to have plain white spray lacquer doors, but then I was thinking about my Zoom background when I'm doing work on my computer. Spray lacquer white doors are just not living the dream. So we ended up doing this beautiful oak frame door design, and then it's got just a grass cloth wallpaper that we've inserted into the middle. And these are the grove handles from our Martin collection. We've done these in a dark bronze finish, just so it matches all the other metal finishes, and I think they've worked out really well. And I'll show you what's in some of the cupboards. They're not perfectly organised. You're getting a few sneak peeks of some new product launches down here. These are some new trays that we're launching with Addison Ross in September, I think. And some new throws that we're launching with Andrew Martin. These are some of our previous designs. And then in these drawers are some prototypes for some other exciting things we're working on. So it's really nice to have space to put all of those products, because previously they were just sort of sitting on the shelf above my desk. Which wasn't really the one. And then in here I've got a nice big stationery cupboard, so we've got all of our like brochures that we put our proposals for clients in, lots of plastic folders, and then just drawers full of stationery, envelopes, you know, all the things you need. So that's not just for me, that's for the whole office, they all use that. And then round here, this is kind of, I guess, like a kind of wall of fame. We've got our YouTube 100,000 subscribers plaque. We've got a clock that I designed with Addison Ross. We've got this little plaque. We sometimes put this in, if we do like a showcase, like we did Holiday Home a few years ago, that was raising money for breast cancer research. We'll put this in spaces that we've designed, or if we do like a show home, which we don't tend to do anymore, but we put that in because it's a bit nicer than just having like a sign in a photo frame. And then here we've got some portfolio books from previous projects. People keep asking me if I'll launch a coffee table book, and I just haven't found the time. But if you're one of our clients, you're very lucky, because we do all of our clients before and after book, and we put their pictures in. So this is a project that we did in London a few years ago. It's just a really nice memento for them afterwards. And we also keep a few portfolio books of like various different projects that we've completed. Some of these projects we can't share publicly, so it's quite handy for us to have a book so we can show clients that we're speaking to. I'll just check these. This is one that I've shared. We did the project tour of this. In fact, this project has nearly hit 1 million views. We showed this on YouTube a year ago, and I think we're 30,000 away from millions, so that's really exciting. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it now and help me hit that 1 million, because it'll make me really happy. But this was an amazing project we did in South Kensington, really grand project. Shows a very different style to some of our other projects. You can see it's a lot more traditional, which is what that project and that client wanted. But it's just really nice to have space to keep all these mementos and memories, and eventually this is where future doggy will go with their little dog bed. And then here, these are from Armet Mouse, and I just recently added this last week, a little coat peg, so that when I come in I've got somewhere to hang my jacket, which I love. And then last thing to show you, again another new addition, is this mirror here. This is by Porter Romana, and I think it's called their Travase mirror. I'll share the link in the description box because they do custom finishes, so I'll share all the details of the different finishes that we put. But the idea behind this isn't that I want to look at myself while I'm working. It's that sometimes if I'm working with a brand, or if I just want to show my outfit of the day, I need somewhere to take a picture. So this is where I'll stand. You might see this if you follow me on Instagram. I'll stand here and take a little selfie. So I've got my nice shelves behind me, and it's all like nicely arranged, but that is the perfect mirror. I really, really love this mirror, and I've used it in lots of projects over the years, and we've also used it in the bathrooms, which I'll show you shortly. Now that everyone's gone on their lunch break, I thought I would show you around the office in a bit more detail. A few things that I really, really love is the storage detail. So I'm going to show you inside this cupboard over here. This big piece of joinery is where we house all of our sample folders. These are all live projects that we've got. So they might be divided by shelf, or some of them will have like part of a shelf. So if I grab a random one here, this, for example, is a little girls' room that we've designed in Kensington, and it's got every single one of her fabrics. It's got the FF&E, the wallpaper, and that's all kept in a folder here. And we keep those for about 12 months after the project's finished, just in case the client has an accident, they want to replace anything. After that date, there's not really much point in keeping them because a lot of fabrics might get discontinued, but it's quite good to have those, especially whilst the project's being designed, so that you can refer back to them during the install. We might take those to site as well. So we've got all of those stored in that cupboard. I'll take you around this side of the office. This was a really nice later addition. The carpet supplier and installer who did all the carpet upstairs made this for us because in the summer months we have these French doors open, and sometimes the dogs might get walked in and out this way, and we were finding that we needed a doormat to just stop any sort of dirt and dust coming back in. Rather than just doing your normal kind of doormat, which didn't really feel that good here, we went for a custom one. So we've gone a bit more shallow. I think this is 50 centimetres deep, and we've gone for a leather trim around the whole perimeter. Leather is more practical than linen because obviously it can be wiped clean. And we've templated it to the exact curve. And things like this really please me when I walk in every day and I see how well this has been executed, templated around that corner. It makes me so happy. And then over here, we've got Brett and Anthony's desks. We've got a little bin from our Addison Ross collection. Some of the bins are Addison Ross, some of them are different brands, but we've kind of gone for the Addison Ross statement ones where you really see them. This is where Brett sits, and you can see they've got this lovely window next to them. Anthony sits here. This is all going to be landscape. This is phase 2, which of course I will show you the progress of. Just needed to take a quick little pause for budget reasons because I have blown the budget on the office. So unfortunately we'll just have to look at this scrubland for a little bit longer, and maybe next year we'll look at landscaping that. But again, you can just see like everything's been detailed. I know I showed this to you last time, but like these curved doors, this is where all Olive's little toys go, and some of their storage. I won't show you in all their drawers, but it just looks so nice. I really love the curves that we've used in this project, which, as I mentioned to you, was very much inspired by our golf project with all the feng shui that we learned through that process. And then in the middle, you've got a bank of 7 desks. And then through here, this is Liz, our accountant's office. Liz works from home on a Monday, but she absolutely loves her office because she's got all these cabinets for all the files, everything you'd want to possibly keep as an accountant. I don't think there's nothing controversial or confidential, more to the point, in there. But all of those are lockable because obviously there's a lot of confidential information. And I actually do have a piece of art that's coming for her office that hasn't arrived yet, which is why you can see the light fittings from John Cullen are highlighting this wall. So when you walk in the future, she's going to have a smaller version of that Payne's grey that I've got in my office, so it feels really nice and balanced. But she loves her office, which is nice. All the team are so happy working here. Like when we were designing the project and managing the build, and then we were installing it, we had, in the period of 5 weeks, we installed a project in Kensington, we installed this, and then we installed a project in Hyde Park, literally back to back. And those two were absolutely enormous projects, and we had to do this all at the same time. And I think we were just so in that zone of installing projects, we would basically almost live on site every single day for 2 weeks on our clients' homes. And then what happens is you leave, and then you might return months later or years later if they want something, but generally you leave and then that's it. Like, you hand it over to the client, you don't get to enjoy it anymore. And here, what had happened, because we'd been so busy, we didn't actually click in our head that this one's for us. We actually get to enjoy this one and stay here. So it was like over a period of days and weeks when we first moved in, we were all a bit like, oh wow, like it's kicking in that we get to stay here, we get to enjoy this and work from here. And it is such a lovely place to work from, like beyond what I hoped. Like, all of us look forward to coming in. I really love coming in. I love walking here, I love walking through the front door. I even love the doormat, like I said, like all of these little details. It's so special for us. We really, you know, love and appreciate good design, and to have a space designed so well that we get to work in and spend so much time in means so much to all of us. So I'm really proud to be able to show you around, but I think it's also important to share what it feels like and how much we appreciate it, because we don't often get to design spaces for ourselves, so that's been really special. Through the bronze crystal doors, we have this really small kitchen area that you would have seen during all the footage of us renovating it, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. It's small but very functional. So let's start off with the tiles, because I know you guys followed me on that journey of finding these tiles. These are the beautiful tiles that I found from Mandarin Stone in Weybridge, and we decided to do them stacked rather than brick bonded. Brick bonded is when you have them arranged like a brick wall. This looks slightly more contemporary, and it also meant that over here where we've got this return, you wouldn't have had lots of awkward cuts. These all lined up perfectly, so you had a full brick on the side and then almost full bricks on the front, and I think they look really nice. The thing to be mindful of when you're picking bricks, or sorry, tiles, is especially when they have like this natural glaze, I don't think they brand them as Zalige tiles, but they look like Zalige tiles, is that you can get a lot of variety. So I really like that, and I think that works really well. It picks out all the different tones in the worktop. But if you got one sample and it was like this one, for example, that looks quite light and plain, you should be mindful that there might be some darker ones mixed in there as well. And when it comes to your tiler, make sure that they distribute them evenly so it doesn't look like there's one dark row and then all the others are light. New other additions are, I don't think these upper cupboards were in yet. These we had our joiner add in afterwards, so we've just got lots of good storage for not everything wants to be on display. So obviously like all our coffee pods, normally we've got coffee mugs, but we've had a lot of coffee today because it's Monday and we need a lot of coffee, so there's only one coffee mug left. Over here we've got a integrated microwave with open shelving above. That is quite heavily packed, but we're going to get some extra shelves. What I love about this is how we've done the same wood finish that we've got on the upper cupboards around the microwave, so it feels really finished, and we've lined that whole opening that was previously just open plaster with the wood, so it looks really neat. And then a couple more things we're going to do. Sometimes these things just evolve over time, and I think, you know, this is like a house, it's never quite finished, and I'm really good at spending money, so I just keep spending money even though I should stop. I'm going to add a really shallow shelf that lines up with the bottom of this cabinet, quite a chunky one. I think it's going to be about 4 centimetres high, just 2 very shallow ones, and that will be just enough to maybe put, I don't know, like maybe some recipe books or some salt and pepper grinders. It's more of an aesthetic thing really, just that it feels a bit unbalanced that you've got the cabinets here and then you've got the splashback. Doesn't really make sense. Obviously we inherited this kitchen and we've tweaked it since the previous owner left, but it's still not quite there, so we're going to add those shelves there. Sadly they're not deep enough for these pots. I'll show you these. So we've got all these jars for our coffee pods and everything. They've all had labels made up. I'll ask the team where we got these and I'll share them in the description box. But these will be too deep for those shelves because the microwave, and this is something you need to think about when you're designing your kitchen, the microwave will pull out and we don't have enough depth to clear the microwave door. So they're more decorative, but then above the bin here, we're going to have some other shelves put with some gorgeous bronze brackets from Armac Martin, and that will be some additional storage where we can put some of those jars. And I think it's going to have a lip around it as well, just so those jars don't fall over the edge, where they're going to be quite small shelves that sit just above the bin. Other things, love these cabinets. I'm going to find out what this paint colour is and I will share it in the description box. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. All the handles are from Armac Martin, again the same ones that I had in my office. It's amazing how different they look, because if you compare them to the SAS finish, which is what I have in Ava's bedroom, it almost looks like a completely different handle. It looks much more contemporary in the bronze. Probably more suitable for an office. I think maybe the antique brass would have felt a bit too decorative, but they just add the perfect finishing touch. And then we've got the knob version of it on the upper cabinets. Next to the kitchen we have the 2 bathrooms. Go past the gorgeous doors from SWD. These are probably the most luxurious bathrooms you'll find in any office anywhere. But we knew that we really wanted to go all out. These are the bathrooms that not only will we use as the team, but also our clients, when they come for client presentations, will also use. So it was a great opportunity to showcase what we love, what we can do in a bathroom, and some of our collections as well. So I'll start with the wallpaper. This is the oak leaf wallpaper by Fremantle, which I launched a few years ago. It's one of my favourite designs, and we've gone all out in here because not only have we got the painting, but we've also got individually embroidered leaves and even little sections of the acorns as well, which really catches the light beautifully. And then on the bottom we've gone for a paint. This one is by Zophony, and I've decided to go for half height panelling because it is an office and we just wanted to be mindful of practicality. In my own house, even though I've got a 4-year-old son, I have the silk go all the way to the bottom and it's been absolutely fine. Even when he shakes his hands on it after washing them, the silk just doesn't seem to stain. So I would say people really overly worry about that without necessarily needing to. We added this little detail of this trim. This is what by Deckwood, and I really love it because it just adds another little detail here, and it works really well when the door's closed. It matches with the fluting on the SWD door. and I think it also looks a little bit like the acorns on the wallpaper. Now these are another launch. We've got the towel rail and the toilet roll holder. These are both coming out with our collection for Armac Martin. I think that might launch in September, but I will check and I will share the details with you as soon as they've launched publicly. And then next thing that's the most exciting thing to me is this vanity unit. Now these are part of another upcoming collection that we're launching. They're not available yet, so I won't talk about them too much, but as soon as they are, of course, you'll be the first to hear about it. We've designed so many custom vanity units over the years for our clients' projects that we know exactly what works, what we like to have. We've got the fixed drawer on the top, all these handles again from our Armac Martin collection. And then underneath we've got some drawers, and it's got a cut-out section for the pipe, but you've got space to put all your tissues and toilet rolls, and another storage drawer underneath. They're a good depth as well, so you get lots in there. The finish that I've gone for in this bathroom is slightly different to the finish of the one next door, and they're all made from solid oaks. They're really beautiful. And then on top we've gone for a natural marble. I really love this sort of double ball nose profile that we've gone for on the vanity unit. And then the taps, the basin, the toilet, the flush plate, even the toilet brush are all by Jessie. This is my favourite collection from Jessie. It's called the Venti collection, or that's how they say it in Italian. In English you would say 20, I think they call it. What I love about this is just how elegant and timeless the design is. I love all the fluting. It's just such a sort of contemporary but at once timeless design that you're going to love forever, and it feels really tactile. We have gone for a finish that is an antique brass colour, and what's great about Jessie's antique brass is that it doesn't change over time. It's been lacquered, so you don't need to worry about water staying on it. It's not going to mark or stain or be hard to clean. I find it really practical. I've got it in my home too. Then above that you can see we've gone for another marble shelf. The reason why we've done this is because these bathrooms are not the largest, so there wasn't a lot of surface area on the vanity top to dress it with like a plant, or we knew that we wanted to have a tray for all the towels. This tray itself is from our Co's collection, so I'll link that in the description box. But I was so happy with how that tones really well with the rest of the marble. And then we've just got a nice little faux orchid in the corner just to dress it prettily. And then underneath that we've gone for an LED strip. So again, it's just about that layered lighting, so you've got some nice ambient lighting. It's not just all coming from the spotlights. Then on the wall for the vanity mirror, we've chosen this beautiful Traverse mirror by Porta Romana. It's the same mirror that I've got in my private office, but obviously in a different finish and a different size. These I think are a custom size, but Porta Romana can do customization of all their products. You can get custom sizes, custom finishes, so it's good to know that. And I think that's it. Yeah, absolutely love that. I mean, love this one. I don't know which one's my favourite, this one or the one next door, so I'll show you the one next door now and let me know in the comments which one you prefer. This is the second bathroom, and I really can't decide which one's my favourite. This has the olive grove wallpaper from our Fremantle collection. I'll link it all in the description box. I've always loved this wall covering, and we took inspiration from the olives themselves down onto the panelling. So this paint is also by Zoffany. I should know the name of this paint because I've used it for years and years, but I'll put it in the description box and I'll label it as the olive toilet paint. And then we've taken the same colour scheme onto the marbles. This is a Cala Cataviola. And when I was choosing all the marbles, it was so important to me that the tones in the veining of the marble match with the wallpaper, match with the paint. So I spent a lot of time looking at various slabs and making sure that it was the perfect one. What I loved about this one is that not only has it got the purple veining through, but you've got the occasional green vein too, so it works really well with all the leaves as well as the berries. Same idea as next door. We've got the shelf above and then the same beautiful Jessie Venti taps. We have the Armac Martin handles as before. The vanity unit that we're launching, this one is a slightly different colour. This is slightly lighter, which I felt went really well with the marble. The same Porta Romana mirror, and all the same toilet roll holder, towel rail, and the same deck wood trim around the outside, but it's interesting seeing how being painted in different colours, it gives it a very different feel. The footprint of both these rooms is exactly the same, but for some reason the oak leaf one feels bigger. I don't know why that is. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I absolutely love these bathrooms. We blew the budget, but I think a powder room, whether it's in your house or your office, is actually one of the most important rooms. It's somewhere where people can go, they can really take in all the details. Your guests will judge you by your powder room, your toilet, whatever you want to call it, so make it as good as you can. The final room to show you on the ground floor is our client meeting room, which is through here. This isn't the biggest space, but it's everything that you would need for a client meeting room. The table in the middle, I absolutely love this table. This was custom made for us by Blue Label by Ben Whistler. It's such a beautiful finish. You can see it's solid oak, and then they've done a bronze inlay, so it coordinates really nicely with all the other finishes that we've got throughout the office. And we designed this base, see, with the very discreet legs, because it's so important when you've got lots of chairs that need to fit around a table that no one gets, you know, an awkward leg exactly where they want to put their legs. Right now we have 5 seats here, but I do have these same chairs in my office. So if we're having a bigger meeting, I can just bring those across. And we also have a bigger meeting table upstairs. One of my favourite features in here is this marble worktop area. The idea behind this was, if you remember, this will be like the serving station. If we're serving like snacks or lunch for people, we might do it buffet style and have it all laid out here. Or if we're serving drinks or tea, again, you can have it there. We've even got a little basket of biscuits. How tempting is that? These are the bane of my existence. I'm trying to be healthy. But the marble itself is a real statement piece. I'll remove some of these items so you can see all the gorgeous veining. I really love all the colours that run through here. And I really wanted to get some bold marbles in this office because it's a direction that I really love for our projects. And I really wanted everything that we do here to represent what we would do in our clients' projects. Obviously everyone's got different tastes, but this is what I personally love. And then above we've got some open niches. Not the most practical storage, but we have so much storage below and to the side. I wanted somewhere that you could have some display objects, and also where the room sort of tapers in. If this was all enclosed, it would feel particularly sort of claustrophobic down this end. Whereas having all the open shelving, all the lighting that's been designed beautifully by John Cullen, it kind of opens up the space and makes it feel much more spacious. In terms of storage, under here we store all of our trays for presentations. So when we're doing a presentation to a client, we just take one tray out at a time so it doesn't get overwhelming. And then this cupboard was meant to be extra tray storage, but I've turned it into glasses storage and drink storage because I didn't like seeing everything out on display. Along this side, we've got a big TV screen. I think this is 65 inches. And ATI have done all of our audio-visual here. They work on a lot of our projects. They've done a great job sort of integrating everything that we needed throughout. We've got Sonos speakers, TVs. I mean, IT is not my specialist subject, but everything just works seamlessly. And they installed all of that for us. We've also got lots of boring storage, you know, things like cleaning products. When you're organising an office, you cannot overestimate how much storage you need for those really sort of ugly things. So make sure that you do lots of storage for places where you're going to put spare tissues, water bottles, you know, washing up liquid, all those kind of things. You want to have somewhere to store those. And I have to say the team that have designed all the joinery throughout have really maximised every inch of this building, because it's not massive. I think it's 1,400 square feet, but we've managed to put so much in. And it's always a careful balance between giving yourself all the storage you need, but also leaving lots of open, empty space so it feels very sort of airy and you've got room to breathe. Again, more storage here, and we haven't filled it all, but I'm sure we will. This is the kind of thing over time, you always need more storage than you think. These handles are part of a new upcoming launch. We've been designing these and working on these for about 10, 11 months, and these are the first prototypes. We will be launching these at some point with our Mac Martin. I wanted to do something that had a reeded pattern to it. And I feel like the Grove handles have done so well. They've been brilliant for kitchens, wardrobes, everything, very versatile handle. But I wanted something a bit more pared back, so obviously you can't have the Grove handle everywhere, although I have it in all my office and my daughter's bedroom. I wanted something that I could potentially use in my new future kitchen, so I feel like these work really well. And I'm just going to live with them for a few more months, just make sure there's nothing else that I would tweak about the design, and then hopefully we should be launching these very soon, so I'll let you know as soon as we do. For the window treatments throughout, I have gone for a sheer ribbon blind. I'll put this this blind down a little bit and you can see what I mean. But you can still get the light through because it's not been lined, and I wanted something that felt very organic and soft. The reason why I've done window treatments is I want to be able to have privacy here. Some clients that will come here will be very private, they won't want anyone to be able to see them. But also we draw the curtains at night time when we've left. And also it just makes the windows look finished. I feel like any window without a window treatment always looks a bit empty and cold. When these are drawn up, it just beautifully finishes off the room and adds some softness. This morning I was looking at all the comments that we'd had from the previous video, and I actually answered quite a lot of them because I've been away so much I haven't had a chance. One of the questions that came up a few times was, where did we put everyone's coat? So I thought I'd show you inside this cupboard. This is the cupboard where not only do we store all our PPE, so you can see we've got our hard hats, look, we even have our logo on the hard hats, and we've got all of our high-vis jackets. Again, they've got the branding on them. I mean, I love to brand everything. But then above that, we've got storage for the team's coats in the winter when they wear coats, or clients' jackets. And then this big chunky case here, this is our install kit. So it's got everything you could possibly need on an install. I might do a video on that one day because that took a lot of experience and time to know exactly what to include, and it's a game changer if you're an interior designer. Again, another Armac Martin handle. This little cupboard over here, this is my cupboard of doom, okay? So don't judge me. This has not been organised, but it will. We're just getting some shelves made. You can see we've got some cleaning products in there, some boxes, so that's too much of that. That's what's in there. Might cut that later. And then over here we've got a fuse cabinet, little things like that are handy when you've got an office. Say for example, if you have an office cleaner, our office cleaner comes at the weekend because obviously you can't have cleaners here during the week. We have a little logbook, so if there's anything that we notice during the week that we'd like them to pay particular attention to, we put that in there. Underneath we've got a little umbrella basket. I'll find the link to that and I'll put that in the description box because I really love that. This mat here is the choir mat that I was talking about. If you remember that footage when we were coming here during the install, there was that awkward angle where these tiles just sort of pointed to nowhere. It didn't really make sense. Now the bronze doors are in and the mat's in, it all kind of makes sense and you can see where that was going. But this is really practical. Always do an integrated mat by your door, whether it's an office or a house, because it traps all the dirt and it means you don't ruin all your floors elsewhere. This is probably about 70 centimetres deep, which I'd say is a good amount. So not only do you step on it once, but you'll catch that second foot before you walk through the rest of the property. Anyway, enough boring cleaning chat. Let's go upstairs and look at the design library. This is the design library, and I saved the best till last because this is my favourite room in the whole office. We've always dreamed of having a design library that had as much storage as this, was such a beautiful space. I love the fact that it's got this massive vaulted ceiling and all these beautiful displays where we can see all of the marbles that we use. There's a place for everything. It's just a dream to design in here, and I absolutely love working with my team in this space. I'm going to show you some of the design tips and tricks that we used in here. One of my favourite things in here is the fact that we managed to create this beautiful display of marbles. Previously, in our old office, we just had those IKEA picture shelves, and I always used to look at it and think, oh my goodness, I hope that never falls down. Whereas now we have these reinforced shelves. We've even done this little bronze rail in front, and it's all lined with wood at the back, so you don't have to worry about the marble marking the wall every time you take a sample out. above you can see we have track lighting that's been installed by John Cullen. So it's got directional spotlights onto all the finishes and all the items that we want to highlight. The reason why they went for a track system rather than spotlights is obviously we have that vaulted sloped ceiling, so it would have been really hard to get directional light, and where it's so high up it wouldn't have had the same impact or effect. And then I really love the LED strip that they've done in the cornice around the centre chimney breast and also around the perimeter in the cornice, which gives a lovely soft glow onto that perlata. For the finishes themselves, we've gone for a combination of stained oak for the worktops, the splashback, the shelves, and then this is a spray lacquer finish. It's actually an off-white. I didn't want something that looked too harsh. And then I really love the details. All these cup handles are by Armac Martin, and then we bought these label makers separately. This will eventually be replaced with our new branding, all the fonts that we're supposed to use in a nice cream textured card. But this is just for now, so we know where everything is. But it's just such a dream having everything stored so well. So like even down to the joinery finishes, you can see we've got all the light woods that we use here. The mid-tones, all organised by colour. Darks. And even the internals. I mean, this is just an organiser's dream. Everything has got its own space, and it makes it so much more efficient to design like this. You're not wondering where stuff is, you can just be completely creative. And then my next favourite bit in the whole room is this fabric wall library. I always had this dream of having one massive wall where all the fabrics were, because in our last office, all the design library was scattered amongst the office, so you didn't have one concentrated area. Whereas the amazing thing about this is that there's no one working on computers. You can just be completely calm, listen to music, immerse yourself in your design, not worry about making a mess around other people. These actually aren't the final baskets. These are the baskets that we had in our old office. I am replacing them with some more fine weave baskets, but they didn't all arrive in time, sadly, for today's filming. But I really love this, how it's all together. At one point I was thinking about doing a ladder, but I had visions of falling off the ladder, and I thought, you know what, I do love my projects, but I'm not going to die for them. So we didn't make it any higher than what you could reach for without standing on a ladder. So that's all the fabrics. And all along here, this isn't in the final layer of organisation, but these are going to be wallpapers. You've got carpets over there. I'm going to show you a couple of my drawers. So for example here, lampshade finishes. These are all the colours by Porta Romana, one of my favourite suppliers. Underneath we've got more lighting fixtures, it's the metal finishes. Everything kind of makes sense where it is, so everything electrical's here. And even like a drawer for curtain poles. For the flooring, we went for the same carpet that we had in the meeting rooms and our offices downstairs. This is that one by Eaton Square, which I'll link in the description box. We did contemplate doing a timber floor up here, but where this is an old building, it's actually 122 years old. The acoustics aren't so wonderful that I'd want to do a timber floor, because you might hear us clomping around up here. So we wanted to really soften all that noise. And this carpet with the underlay's really done that. It sort of cocoons the whole room and it doesn't feel too echoey. You can see we've got some open slots. These are where we have all of our trays. So when I'm designing with a team, you'll just grab a tray. You can grab your samples from around the room and put a scheme together, like I've just been working on this one at the moment for an overseas project. This is actually going to be a kitchen in the very early stages. Now this, to most people, would not be the most exciting cupboard, but for me, and my husband always takes the mickey out of me for the fact that I get so excited, it is so exciting because if you know about interior design and you've put some fabric schemes together, you'll know how much they all shed fabric. So I knew I needed a vacuum cleaner up here. So this is where we store our Dyson. It's got the bracket on the wall readily put in there. I've got a basket underneath for all the attachments. And when you've done a bit of design, you can just zoom this around the room and tidy it up. And honestly, it's the small details for me that get me really excited. I don't know why. Now I could quite happily hoover this whole room now because I actually really enjoy hoovering, but that would be a really boring video for you guys, so I'll have to stop myself. Now the last thing I'm going to show you The last thing I'm going to show you now that I've managed to turn myself away from the vacuum is our really big seating area. This table is also by Blue Label by Ben Whistler. It's a bigger version of the one that we had downstairs. And this is where we'll sit when we have our team meeting every Wednesday morning. We'll all sit here. For the people that are working remotely that day, we have a big TV screen opposite, and we'll go through all of our projects. We go through all the projects by date for the ones that started earliest. And then at the end, we'll go through all of our product collections and just have a general catch up. And I find that's really good to get the team together, not only because some of the people are working remotely, but I don't like to catch up on each project individually, because I think collectively as a team, everyone learns from everyone else's lessons, everyone else's experience. So that's something that we've implemented for quite a few years, and I find it's really useful. This is also where the team will have their lunch breakouts if they want to. If it's raining outside, we also have some seating outside where they can have their lunch during the summer. And then if we had a very large client presentation, how many seats have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You could fit comfortably 13, 14 people here. Well, for our project that we just finished a few weeks ago, the client arrived with quite a large group. I think there was about 15 or 16 people in the meeting room downstairs. We would be packed in, there would be no room. So it was quite good to have an extra space where we could present to clients. And in some ways, I kind of like the idea of presenting to clients up here. I actually haven't done a client presentation since we've been here, but I'm kind of tempted to do our client presentations up here because it means I can spread out all the trays around the back area that I just showed you, and they kind of get to see the work in progress rather than being down in the formal meeting room. But I think that's it. I think you've seen everything. There's one more detail to show you, and this is also quite important, is that sometimes we might have champagne Fridays with the team, and so of course you do need a champagne fridge, and that is right there, our champagne. It's important to reward your team for hard work. Mostly we eat cake, but occasionally we have champagne too. That is a wrap for our office tour. I have loved sharing this journey with you from the very beginning when we first bought this property to watching all the renovation, the highs, the lows, me worrying about whether the colours were right, and of course sharing all the details with you today. I hope that you love it as much as we do. We cannot wait to start producing some incredible projects in this design library. I'm so excited for what's to come. And if you haven't hit subscribe, make sure you do. Lots more exciting projects to share with you coming soon. You can also follow us on Instagram at Sophie Paterson Interiors for more regular updates. And don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter, which is going to be sharing lots of exciting news, and I'll share all the links in the description box. Take care, thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Now, I do actually have one last special message for Rita Butty, who is one of our youngest viewers at just 9 years old, and she lives in Rochester and Kent. And Rita, I just want to say thank you so much for watching our channel, and I know how proud your family are of how hard you worked this year. So keep working hard, and I can't wait to hear about all the amazing things that I'm sure you're going to do.